Welcome to the Josh and Ethan Show, everybody. As you can tell, or maybe if you haven't seen the trailer yet, that was the beginning music for the announcement trailer for Fallout 4, which came out this past week, which I am super excited about.
You and me both, brother.
Yes. Basically, what I think it's come down to is it's all that we know now is a main centerpiece is going to be Vault 111.
Yeah.
It takes place in Boston, Massachusetts.
Which I'm excited about, honestly.
Yeah.
It seems more compact than DC.
Yeah.
Um,
They're running potentially a different engine. There's some debate about that. The graphics definitely look different.
I think it's a different engine, just from the trailer alone. I mean, it's either a different engine or they've just done a hell of a lot of upgrading. Well, you have to think about it too. The last game came out 5 years ago, so you know.
You think it would have to be? I mean, just to keep up with the new consoles and
Exactly.
stuff, it's gonna have to be a new engine.
Yeah.
But
Also, for those of you who don't know what Fallout is, it's a popular video game. I understand some of you might not be as big be as big of nerds as we are.
yeah.
God, this is off to a rough start for me. You've done great though so
Thank
far.
you. I really like the intro.
Man.
Basically, Fallout is set in a post-apocalyptic world.
There's your flub.
Yep.
You get one flub.
After China and the United States got into a bit of a war, nukes pretty much destroyed the whole world, and there's been, wow, how many? Five games so far?
Yes, 5.
Because Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics,
and then
Fallout 3, and
New
then New
Vegas.
Vegas.
I consider New Vegas almost like a DLC to
Yeah.
or expansion to 3 though.
Well, because they both run. I mean, that's basically it's the same
it's the
game.
Same engine. It's the same game. Well, no, it's not the same game. It's the same engine.
Yeah.
Same.
Graphics and everything.
Of course, I actually probably liked Fallout New Vegas more so than Fallout 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I love the decision making in that game because like you could pick sides, whereas and I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't played the game. Well, it came out 5 years ago. If you haven't played it,
Yeah.
you know at this point. But yeah, like you could pick between the NCR and then Vegas and then Caesar's Legion, which is a really cool because in Fallout 3 you could only pick really between 2 or even I mean you got the Enclave.
Not even really two.
No, I mean
it was just the end decision that really made a difference.
Yeah, and the ending for that kind of sucked.
Especially since if you, well, I mean, I guess it's the same way with New Vegas. If you played the game all the way through, like all the way through the main storyline, if you didn't have the DLC yet, the game just ended.
Yeah.
And like you couldn't play on. So if there was any side quest,
which sucked. I love the DLC almost more so than the actual standalone game for Fallout New Vegas. Like especially I loved Dead Money. I loved Zion. What was it called? Where you went to Zion Canyon?
I don't remember.
And then there was
Old World Blues is my favorite.
Oh yeah. I don't know if that's my favorite, but it's up there, maybe top 2.
I love having your own conversation with like your own brain.
Yeah.
That's I mean that's just a weird.
Bethesda makes really good games, you know?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
And there's going to be people who say, "Oh yeah, they're constantly buggy." Like Bethesda can't put out a game without it having at least 100 bugs the first day. But they fix those eventually, and we have modders too for the PC people
who handle all those.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always loved Bethesda and what they come out with. Have you ever played Dishonored?
I have not. Well, wait. Yes.
Dishonored is
yeah.
It's about the like assassin type guy.
Yeah. That was a different kind of game for them.
It was, but it was still it had a Bethesda feel to it, I think. Just the way the world was the world building, like how it looked, how it felt. It was definitely like trademark Bethesda.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was actually probably one of my favorite games of whenever it came out. Maybe when did it come out? 13, 12?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, relatively.
I don't know if it was a long time ago. I remember getting it like the second or third year I got my computer. But anyways, yeah, we're super stoked for Fallout 4.
Fallout's come out, but I don't really think we're gonna get any more details until after E3.
Well, they're getting their own press conference at E3. So
well, yeah, but it's still at E3. So
yeah, but they're gonna have their
the
own
14th?
standalone press conference. So I'm guessing it's not gonna just be an hour of nothing. Like
how much you bet they're gonna announce another Elder Scrolls game while they're there too? Or more DLC for Elder Scrolls Online?
Probably. I don't know if they're going to announce a new Elder Scrolls game. They're probably going to announce stuff for online. Because online,
which has been
really
a colossal failure, Bethesda. Stop.
I'm not going to pay $50 to get a disc and then have to pay $15 more a month for a subscription to something.
Well, it's almost like the start of
not when I have Steam.
Knights of the Old Republic.
And Gaben and his glorious.
Yeah. But like when Knights of the Old Republic came out and you had to pay for the disc and then you had to pay for the monthly service.
I was disappointed with that, but I was so into that game that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas with Elder Scrolls, I love Skyrim, I loved Oblivion, but from what I've seen from this game,
it's just not worth it.
It's just not worth it. And you can even argue that Star Wars: The Old Republic wasn't worth it, but I'm just a diehard Star Wars fan, so I was like, yeah.
I got in when it was all free, so I didn't spend a dime.
I'm still mad at them because I paid a subscription for the first 2 months and then I kind of quit because I already beat the game for one of my characters.
Yeah.
And after it became free to play, they did this like tier system where if you had paid a subscription for a set amount of months or up until like maybe June or whatever, then you were like premium status free member. So you got some cool stuff. You got like in-game tokens or whatever. And apparently I wasn't on long enough to get that. So all I got was I could run quicker than people in the game. That's the only thing I got.
Congratulations, everybody. So that's what you get for dedication.
They just gave me the Usain Bolt mode, basically. And but yeah. Speaking of other things we're excited about, I don't want to change the subject on you because I know it's close to your heart. I know Fallout is
probably my favorite game series.
On Halo?
Overall. Well, see, I don't know because Halo for me is run dry.
True.
I mean, if 343 is listening, I just want you to know
highly doubt they
ruined everything. You ruined Halo.
Our last podcast got 44 views. Thank you very much. As of this recording.
Yeah.
So I don't think any 343 executives would be in that 43.
Well, if they ever get around here to listening to it, I just want you to know you ruined Halo, and you should feel bad.
They didn't ruin Halo.
They pretty much ruined Halo.
Nah.
Yes.
I did not like 4 as much as any other of the Halo games, but I played it to its end, and I had a fun time.
I mean, am I gonna play 5? Yes. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll probably rent it.
Well,
but I mean,
we don't even have. Neither of us have an Xbox One, so how are we?
I thought they
play?
said they were gonna bring it to PC.
I doubt
5.
that.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Oh. Well, we'll play it with one of our other friends.
PC Master Race.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I love all my console peasant friends.
Console peasant friends. I think once the Xbox One gets to a point where the consoles, buying them in stores only costs like, because right now the price for a basic unit is like what, $250, something
for a basic like Xbox One.
Yeah.
No, it's still like $350.
Oh.
And I think the PS3 is still like $399.
Well, whenever they get down,
I could be completely wrong
4.
on this. That's what I meant to say. I could be completely wrong though. I haven't looked in like a couple months.
Well, as soon as the consoles get down to the point where they're like maybe 200 on Craigslist, probably less, I'll probably give in and buy one just to have. Will I pay for the online monthly service? No, because sorry, Xbox Live, $12 a month, $10 a month.
It was 10.
It's still stupid.
It was $15. No, it was $5 a month because it was 15 for 3 months.
You should learn something from Steam and respect your players.
Yeah,
just saying.
I think that's the biggest turn on for me when it comes to PC gaming is the fact that Steam is completely free. Yeah. And they have amazing sales, and you can get practically any game you want except for the exclusives.
Speaking of Steam, I am still dying for the summer sale for the announcement.
Did you hear about the Steam refunds?
No.
They're trying to implement a new system where you can actually refund your games because like there have been people complaining like, oh, I bought this because I thought it was gonna be good and I've played it for an hour and I'm like, no, this sucks. I want to bring it back. But you can't really bring back a digital copy. You can't really. So they're going to start trying to implement like a refund system where if you have played it for less than a certain amount of hours, you can bring it back to the store, quotes, and
at least get like a partial refund.
Yeah. Some I was reading some things that said you would get a full refund depending on like if you only play for like 2 hours,
Well, that's like I bought Civ 5.
Civ 5?
Yeah, and I played it for one night.
Civilization?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's hyped up, but...
Not your game?
Not my game.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
that.
Beautiful. And the way it's played, and I've seen Let's Plays that just go on for hours and hours at a time. But I'm more of a Total War kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean, I can get down with Civilization, but it definitely is not my favorite strategy game. I love Total War. You know, we play it all the time. I have 250 hours logged on
just one.
Rome. But I also like Crusader Kings, things like that. God, I realize that if most of the people who listen to our podcast might not know any of the things that we are currently talking about.
Play Total War. Just go buy a gaming PC and play Total War.
I don't think everybody can afford a gaming
I don't
PC.
care. Go buy one.
Go to your library.
Even
find the most powerful PC.
Even a pretty basic PC can play Total War to some degree.
Oh yeah, like people who complain about, oh, I can't handle this on my computer can't handle this. You realize that those games can be run at much lower settings.
Yeah.
So you don't need, the brand new $3,000 gaming PC that just hit the markets yesterday to play, games in their entirety and enjoy them. I recently started encountering problems with my old graphics card. I upgraded recently, but I was still able to play like older games, and especially even Total War, which is only Rome 2 is only what 2 years old.
Yeah, I think
at this point. So yeah, I could still play that with my old graphics card. I just upgraded to future proof again in quotes because like I don't know, in 5 years we might have computers that can walk on their own and
Oh my god, that would be terrifying.
Yeah. Terminator is coming, by the way.
Yeah.
Both the sucky movie and the reality.
Speaking of movies that could possibly suck.
I know what you're going to talk about, but first I just want to say, have you seen the trailers for Terminator?
I have not seen them yet.
They are abysmal. They are just terrible. I don't care.
Arnold's in it, right?
Yeah, but Arnold's not necessarily in his prime anymore.
Well, that's like the funniest thing to me is the fact that, the Terminator series.
Yeah.
There was Terminator, first Terminator that came out in like what, the 80s?
Yeah.
Or early 80s.
I can't give you
I think
an
it's
exact
early
date.
80s.
I'm not a fan. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Terminator.
And then
series.
T2 Judgment Day, which hugely successful. That came out in the late 80s or early 90s, I don't remember. And then you had Terminator 3, which no one knows about. That was a movie. But
and
everyone
then you had
seems to forget.
the Terminator with Christian Bale.
Yeah, Salvation.
Which was
And then there was the TV series or web series.
There was a
Genesis, isn't that what it was called?
There was a like Sarah Connor series on TV. No, but it just looks. I don't know. When you see old Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting young CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger, they wanted you to feel like a sense of like awe and wonder and like, oh, this is awesome.
But you didn't.
But I just laughed. Like I couldn't help but. He walks up and he's like, "I've been waiting for. I can't do a Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was almost Russian. Is what it was. Can you do an Arnold?
No, I'm not even. I'll be back. I've been waiting.
I'll be
for
back.
No, that's almost like Yoda.
Yeah, waiting for you. I can't do impressions. We've already established. I can do accents. I can't do impressions though. I could never make it as a sketch comedy.
No, but you could make it in the podcast world.
That's still to be determined. But yeah, so it's gonna suck. I'm putting my money on the new Terminator sucking, even though Daenerys Targaryen is in it. I'm still. What's her name? Amelia Clark.
Yeah. Danny.
Yeah, I don't. Anyways, but the movie you were talking about.
Movie that might suck, which I hope it doesn't, because
really
it's my favorite movie ever.
Well, you haven't seen it yet.
Well, yeah. Well, my favorite series ever. The original is my favorite. Jurassic World is what we're discussing.
Yeah.
I'm so worried. We talked about it a little bit our last podcast. We touched on it.
Yeah.
But I'm hugely worried that I love Chris Pratt, but I don't know if his character and the whole training raptors thing is gonna.
It's not about. What was it? It's not about respect or something. It's about
no. It's
It's about respect. And I'm like, no, they want to eat you.
Yeah,
that's not what it's about.
These are velociraptors, guys. It's not like a wolf pack.
I love how we just assume. I mean, obviously these movies aren't very scientific. But I love how all the scientists just assume velociraptors are hyper intelligent, capable of speech in their own little way. I remember in Jurassic Park, it was the third one, the one with William H. Macy.
William H. Macy.
And it's when
The one with the kid where they have to go back to the island to save their kid. Yeah, that's 3.
I remember in that one the Velociraptor's communicating.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Well, I mean, it's kind of a stretch, but I mean,
they put feathers on him in that one though, which was fairly
but
accurate.
did you see there was recently another scientific study that said most dinosaurs probably didn't have feathers? I mean,
scientists, make up your mind.
Velociraptor being the exception because that strain of dinosaur is closer to birds.
Yeah.
But big sauropods and stuff.
Well, okay, I
I
can
mean,
see
that would be a lot of feathers.
Brontosauruses.
Yeah.
Brontosauri, which aren't actually dinosaurs. Are those the ones that aren't dinosaurs?
There's been more debate about that one too, because that came out in 2000. They were like, one of these dinosaurs doesn't actually exist. But then they went
One
back.
of these things just doesn't belong here.
They went back within this decade, 2010 onward, and they were like, well, maybe we were wrong, and they were.
Gotta love science.
Yeah. Paleontology is difficult because you have to look at how similar things are, and you have to determine how different they have to be in order to be two separate species. Because it's not like you have a live organism you can compare. So it's tricky.
Yeah.
But that comes out June 12th, which is today is June 4th.
Yeah.
So
I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah. So
I'm in summer mode. I don't know what year it is, Josh.
So we'll probably have maybe one more podcast before
Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park
and then we'll have I almost guarantee you we're going to have a podcast that's like Jurassic Park review podcast. We're going to bring in my friend Todd, who is a movie buff, and we're just going to tear it apart
and I'll defend it
or
to the last
or
breath.
build it up. I don't know, depending on how it turns out.
And then
I love Chris Pratt though.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm just so worried.
I can't look at
his
him without
character.
thinking about Andy Dwyer though.
Yeah.
That's just a personal problem.
Or Star-Lord.
No, it's Andy Dwyer. Because he was Andy Dwyer before Star Wars.
Well, see, I'm not a big Parks and Rec fan, so.
Get out.
Okay.
Dude, Ron Swanson is my spirit animal.
What if Ron Swanson
that,
was in
right?
Jurassic World? He's Hammond's
Nick Offerman
nephew.
is the actual guy's name. Bring me all the bacon and eggs you have.
What
Sir,
I want
this
to
dish
see
feeds 20 people. You know what I'm about, son. I love him. Anyways.
I'm so worried. Anytime something new comes out that's based on something that you love, like the new Fallout game and the new Jurassic World movie, you have to wonder, are they going to tarnish everything that I love about the original? I'm less worried about it with Fallout because Bethesda has taken their time in doing this.
For the most part, games also tend to get better. Whereas movies, as they get into, sequel, well, maybe prequel.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Oh, boy.
But as they get into sequels territory and, they're on their 5th movie, it's usually...
Awful?
Yeah.
Terminator? But I don't know. I think Fallout will pull through. A lot of people don't like the way the graphics look in the trailer we have.
The exception for games would be COD.
Yeah.
Which is...
Stop.
Just stop.
Activision? Aren't they the ones who still own it?
Activision and
Infinity?
Treyarch.
Oh, is it Treyarch?
I don't even know anymore.
Because Treyarch did World at War.
I lost interest in Call of Duty years ago.
They're on their 12th game?
Yeah.
Stop.
Speaking of games, I'm sorry, again, I don't mean to...
No, you're fine. We got to keep it going. We can only talk about how much I love stuff so much.
Josh, you can talk about how much you love stuff for the rest of your life.
I love stuff.
Stuff.
So much.
What else do you like? You like portobello mushrooms?
Yes, I love stuffed portobello mushrooms from Olive Garden particularly. Shout out to my homies who make fake Italian food.
Woo!
So good, though.
That's an inside joke that some of you might get.
Yeah.
If we have friends listening to this podcast and you've made it this far, that one's for you. But what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Video games. Another one that's coming out, which I'm excited for, but also incredibly scared for as well, is the new Battlefront 3. Because I love Star Wars. Star Wars is my favorite thing that's ever happened, okay? Yeah. You know that. It's hard to express my love for Star Wars. And I loved Battlefront and Battlefront 2. They were incredible games. I probably logged 200 hours on those.
Well, that was before the days of Steam, so we can't look back and see how much of our lives
we don't have
wasted.
stats on our...
Because that's scary.
What'd you say on how much
we've wasted our lives? I would like for us to just sit down one day and
do
this.
I've logged over 1,000 hours on Steam since I've got my computer 4 years
and then do that in days, and then find out just multiply the hours by the minimum wage.
Yeah.
And just see how much money we could have made.
I've worked it out though. I've only spent about 23 cents an hour on video games for Steam, so I consider that an achievement. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a good deal.
But anyways, Battlefield 3, it's being made by EA. And if you guys don't know who EA is, they are basically the equivalent of Comcast, or if you're in a part of the world who doesn't have Comcast, Time Warner for video games. They are they provide, okay
okay services.
Okay services, but they are most likely run by Beelzebub himself. So yeah, they're making Battlefront 3, and from what I've seen, it's like they're basically stripping away the heart and soul of what made Battlefield 2 so amazing. Like there's no space combat, or there probably will be space combat, but it'll be a $15 DLC, which is their hallmark. Not Hallmark. Is
no, Hallmark works.
Hallmark cards, Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
I love you.
Oh, you gotta wait a year.
God, what are we gonna do for Valentine's Day, Josh? What are we gonna do? I just said do 2. I meant to say do 4.
What are we gonna do for Valentine's Day?
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I'm just really scared for that game because I love Star Wars, and I want to have a good Star Wars video game that's like a first-person shooter again. I really want that.
I hope that Disney. I mean, that's not who owns. I mean, they own the trademark on Star Wars, but they're not the ones doing the video games and stuff. But I hope they go back and they open up all the games that they canceled, and they pick a couple of them, because I would love to play another Star Wars Bounty Hunter game. I had one for the PS2 back in the day, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron.
Yeah,
for the GameCube.
We're
old.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Not that old, but in the world of technology.
Oh yeah, in the world of technology, we are dinosaurs.
Yeah, I remember back.
I remember not having a cell phone.
Yeah,
we're the last generation. You realize this that's going to remember not having internet in their house, or not having a cell phone, not being able to take pictures
with a phone.
Just at will with some device in their pocket. Yeah, I find that scary.
Or like, you remember when you had to wait to get on the internet?
Really awesome. Yeah,
like dial up, and you heard the weird noises.
Miss dial up.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can replicate the noises. Ready? Okay.
It's awful. And then like you heard like I guess it was like your house phone number being dialed, like burr, 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 burr.
Yeah. Is that your house phone number?
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. just lay on the 7. That's what that is. Yeah. Technology. It's weird.
Yeah. It's been adapting. I mean, before technology though, like modern technology, we couldn't have done this right now.
No, not at all.
Yeah. We could have like
You're welcome.
Yeah. We could have recorded it on a tape deck and like handed it out to people.
Thanks, technology.
Yeah.
You're bringing our voices to the tens of people out there.
Yeah. The dozens, at least 3.
At least 3 dozen.
Well, come on, because you got to figure on our last one, we had 44 to date on the SoundCloud, plus 10 from YouTube. We had 54 people.
Those are probably
doubles.
I guarantee you, like, maybe half of those listens are my mom.
Probably.
Yeah. Or your mom.
Yeah.
I don't know. Your mom probably
I don't think
care.
my parents have listened to it yet, actually. Taylor hasn't even listened to it yet.
Oh, your family loves you.
Yep.
We
We also have to remember, we don't have internet at our house. Thanks, Comcast. I hope you can hear me.
They can't.
We live
and if
too
they
far
do,
away.
they don't care.
Yeah.
They're crying with their millions.
Yeah.
They're just wiping their tears away.
I
with
blow my
$100
nose
bills.
with $1 bills.
They probably blow their nose with like hundreds.
Yeah. Or
thousands.
like $1 million
the secret,
banknotes.
yeah, the secret $1,000 bills that only like companies can have. Yeah. So far we've covered a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And by a lot I mean like maybe 3 things.
Well, it's important topics that we care about.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
And that's what the show is, people. It's the topics we care about. I was thinking about naming the show Off Topic, by the way. We don't have a name yet. It's only the 2nd podcast. But the reason I want to name it Off Topic is because we're very good at kind of starting with one thing and then branching off into many different things, as evidence in the last podcast where we started talking about space poop and we ended with politics and Anakin Skywalker.
I really wish they would bring back Anakin in the next movies, like just to spite everyone who hated him from the prequels.
Josh, no.
Yes.
No.
Like just to have Hayden Christensen like just walk
Josh.
in and be like, or what if they have him
my soul hurts.
What if they have like a hologram of him like in the Jedi Museum?
That wouldn't be too bad.
As long as you don't have to hear him act.
I don't want to have to hear him, and I don't want his stupid Force ghost anywhere in my movie.
It wasn't that bad,
Josh. hated the sand.
It's so coarse.
Get your emo ass out of my Star Wars movie. I know you enjoyed the prequels, and I'm not saying they weren't okay.
Yeah. Someone who commented on our last podcast.
We had comments?
Yeah, we had 2.
What?
From someone we went to middle school with, Derek.
What?
Yeah. He we were talking about
that's the guy you want to comment.
It was based off of what we said we use our tablets for.
First of all, that wasn't an offense to you, Derek. I'm just saying it's great to hear from you, by the way. Hi, how you doing?
We were talking about what we use tablets for because we had a little bit of a joke about that, and he says he uses his for The Walking Dead, so I figured we'd talk about The Walking Dead for a little
tablets?
bit. Yeah. We had a bit, you know,
you
so we know what
mean
everyone
tablets
uses.
you hold in your hand and
tablets.
get on the internet with,
like the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Because they're
like
getting so
iPad.
big, they're like
Yeah.
He said he uses his for The Walking Dead, which I thought would be a good bit of a lead-in for us to talk about how awful The Walking Dead is now.
I hope your sister's not listening.
Compared to how good it used to be.
There you go. You had to put a little disclaimer at the end of that.
You went from a 10.
I don't want to spoil anything for Game of Thrones, by the way. Again, but like I said, we're gonna have a Thrones cast one of these days. I promise you.
Well, we'll do it after the end of the
season.
season.
Yeah,
so that way at the
everything.
very front we can be like, if you haven't watched all the way to the end,
exactly.
listen to this.
But and again, no spoilers. But last Sunday's episode, the last 20 minutes of that were, in my opinion, better than every single season of Walking Dead so far. And if you've seen it, you'll know why I say that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but Walking Dead started out really good, ended. Well, it hasn't ended yet. But when I stopped watching, it was
Yeah. Well, I mean, after it wasn't about just surviving the zombie apocalypse anymore, I almost feel like what are they called, walkers in The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
They've become almost like a sideshow, and they're just not important like they were towards the beginning. Like they're more of a side feature now,
which is understandable because part of the conflict in Walking Dead is not necessarily with the walkers. It's the people. It's the interactions between like the groups of survivors, which is cool to see. But like you can't just cut zombies out.
Yeah. Now they've just you see a walker walking in the episode, and you're like oh yeah, I forgot
about that. Like the quote zombies. I say quote because they're not really zombies. In Game of Thrones, they have a motive. Yeah. And they're not just mindless husks. And they also run at 30 miles an hour and will kill you. Whereas I feel like if I was in The Walking Dead, unless I was swarmed, I could just run.
Yeah.
Like they don't seem that fast.
Yeah.
Yet people trip. That's a common thing in movies or TV shows. Why bitches always gotta be tripping over things, man?
You trip as soon you're fine the rest of this movie.
And by bitches I mean all bitches, not just
male bitches and
male bitches too. I mean I'm an equal opportunity offender here.
An equal opportunity.
Everybody
offender.
can be a bitch, man.
But you're exactly right. I mean, there's stuff like you walk fine the rest of the movie, but as soon as there's pressure for you to run away from something, you trip, and just like at the most inconvenient times.
Yeah. I saw a thing on the internet the other day. It was like Jason Voorhees, and the caption. It was a picture of him, and the caption was, "Oh, she's running away. I'll just wait for her to trip. Bitches always be tripping over stuff."
That's another character. He never runs in any of his movies.
And he catches everybody.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. That's why I don't like Friday. That's not the only reason I don't like Friday the 13th, but it's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
I don't like slasher movies. Not because they like gross me out or anything, just because I don't see a point. Now there are I'll finish this sentence in a second, but my pants are currently vibrating. And you know what that means, Jeff?
That means it's time for the show to come to an end. Time for us to get our
Well, that too.
Oh.
But yeah, the show's coming to an end. Sorry. I'll finish what I'm saying, but then we're going to wrap it up. Now I don't remember what I was saying.
We were talking about slasher
movies. The ones that are like so over the top, like just so gory and so bloody that it's almost comedic. I like those. Mm-hmm. But there's a fine line, and I don't know. It's just filled with overacting.
The sequels are really guilty of just sequels for any horror movie are really guilty of this.
Like Insidious 4 coming out. Yeah. We're not gonna talk about that. I can't even remember what Insidious was. I remember I watched one movie with a name sort of like Insidious. Maybe it wasn't Insidious. With a guy in like a house, and then they go to hell, and the devil's playing Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
That was Insidious.
That's Insidious?
I think.
No, maybe.
That's Insidious because Sinister was the scariest ghost movie that I've seen ever, I think.
I don't even
Sinister was
anymore.
actually pretty scary.
Anyways.
Because they have the youngest member of each family killed the rest of the people, so it's kind of scary.
Basic moral of the story, most horror movies suck.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion.
With a couple of exceptions. But that's a topic for another time. This has been the Josh and Ethan Show. Thanks for listening. And if you have any suggestions for a future episode, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, man, leave a comment. We really appreciate any interaction that you guys want to have with us. This is getting kind of creepy. All right, everybody, bye.